Drew loves to draw. This is Drew. Drew loved to draw. Drew forgot about everything else while he drew, even lunch. "More great drawings, Drew?" his mother said. "But you must eat your lunch now." Everyone in the neighborhood knew that Drew loved to draw. "I love the shape of those clouds." "Your color choice is terrific. You draw so well for such a young artist." The other children looked at his drawings and hoped that someday they might draw as well as Drew. One day, Drew's mother took him to an art gallery. "Aren't these drawings great? What do you think?" she asked. But Drew saw the art and felt terrible. "How can my drawings ever be as good as these?" he said. When they returned home, Drew's mother brought him a new box of colored pencils and a fresh roll of paper. "For your drawings," she said. "I don't need them, Mom," he said. "I give up. I'll never be able to draw as well as those artists." Drew put on his backpack. "Drew," his mother said, "how do you think those other artists became so good? They had to practice." But Drew left in search of his friend Charlie. He had a question for him. Drew wanted to ask Charlie how he had become such a good poet. "When I was a boy, my poems weren't the best, but I loved writing them. So I kept writing them. Little by little, my poems got better. It wasn't always easy, but I kept at it. Now I think my poems are pretty good. I've always loved writing poetry, so that's what I do," Charlie said. As Charlie talked, Drew found himself drawing. "Oh, I just got an idea for a poem," Charlie exclaimed. "I have to go. Bye, Drew." Drew finished drawing and titled his picture, "Charlie Loves Poetry." Drew walked to his neighbor Sam's house. Sam was a very smart scientist. Sam's brother Joe opened the door. "Hi, Drew. Sam is researching a new star," said Joe. "When he's working, he forgets about everything else, even lunch." "Hey, that happens to me," Drew said. Sam looked up from his screen at Drew. "I've studied stars for a long time. It's not always easy, but it's what I love, so that is what I do." While Sam talked, Drew's hands were drawing. He titled his picture, "Sam Loves Stars." Drew thought about what Charlie and Sam told him. Suddenly, he got an idea for a drawing. "Thanks, Sam," said Drew. "I have to go." Drew returned home and called out, "Could I have that drawing paper now, Mom?" Drew sat down and began to draw. He titled his picture, "Drew Loves to Draw."